to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at the Mila cylinder that was sent to me by the lovely Roblocks. And this is quite an interesting cylinder. It's slightly different from any other Mila cylinder I've seen. And later on in this video we will hopefully be comparing this with an older Mila cylinder. It's a pretty bog standard cylinder, a very common cylinder in the UK, brass, kind of 35 by 35 cylinder. Interestingly enough, Mila haven't put their name on this one, although they have on the key. And it says we've got an EN 1303 2005 rating, grade 6. I have not actually looked this up, so I don't know what that rating is, and I will be researching this later, but if any of you know anything about that rating, please feel free to post something about it down in the comments. And things to note would perhaps be that this is a 6-pinner and it has got steel drill protection pins on both sides. It doesn't have any snap protection, which is very unfortunate. As you can see, we've got this big weak point here, right where the fixing screw goes in. A very common weak point in brass Euro cylinders. So I guess without further ado, we will get set up for picking, have a go at picking this, and we'll take a look at the bitting right now. We do have some very nice bitting here, a very low one in position 1, and then in chambers 3, 4 and 5 we got some pretty high cut pins, so those will be tricky to reach. In case you are wondering, yes, I did get 3 keys with this lock, but I've just removed them so they're not jangling and getting in the way. Alright, so I'll get set up for picking, and I'll see you then. Okay, so now comes the fun part of the video. We get to attempt to pick the lock, and today I was hoping to do so using this mortise lock, because a lot of people, certainly I know that there will be some people watching who aren't familiar with lock sports and maybe don't know so much about these cylinders and wouldn't really know when the lock was picked. And I know this because I've done lock picking in front of people, and you know, the lock will open, the core will turn, the cam will turn, and they'll say, well, okay, is it open then? And so I thought this would offer a bit more something a bit more interesting, and kind of show you that the lock is indeed open, but the bolt in this is really stiff. There's something going on in here. It is an old lock, to be honest, and I did have to clean it up an awful lot, but I'll play around with it a bit more and see if I can get it to work. But we'll have to do it in the vise for today. Now, as you guys know, I've made a lot of small changes to the lab over the years to the way I make my videos, because I'm always interested in making an enjoyable viewer experience. And one small problem that I've noticed over the years is that when I do a close-up of a Euro cylinder like this, sometimes, it used to be that the front of the cylinder was very dark. If I simulate that, so the front of the cylinder would be very dark until I held my hand up close to it, where my hand was actually reflecting the light back onto it. So what I've done here is I've rigged up a ridiculous piece of paper hanging from the ceiling, and I hope, as you can see there, it has made a little bit of difference, and I hope that now you can see the front of the cylinder a bit better. Anyway, enough chattering. I'm going to now attempt to pick it. I'm going to go in with this homebrew pick. I don't know what you call it. I guess it is a deep hook, but it's got a very slow sort of curve on it. And I'm just going to dive right in. Go in with pretty heavy tension. And we're not getting very much. That felt like pin 5. Six. I'm just moving from back to front in the lock. I'm not getting very much feedback at all, just tiny little clicks. and I'm putting pretty heavy tension on this. I'm going to reset. And I don't know what to say, because it's very difficult to describe what I'm feeling at the moment. At the moment it's hard to feel which of the pins are binding. Okay, my camera made a bit of a clicking noise there. I don't know what happened. I apologise if there's a break in the video or something. Oh, and there we are. We're open. Okay, so I'm fairly confident we don't have security pins in this lock. It definitely didn't feel like it. It feels like we've only got standard pins. It put up enough of a fight, I'd say, but not very impressive if it has only got standard pins, because mila cylinders generally have spool pins in them. So I'm now going to take the lock apart, and we'll maybe take a closer look at this and compare this with the older style of mila cylinder. Okay, so just before the gutting, I thought I'd take a look at the cylinder and compare it with the older style of mila cylinder. I personally thought that the picking performance of the cylinder really wasn't very good. I certainly didn't feel any security pins in this. Now here I have an old mila cylinder. This is what I thought was the current mila cylinder, but I was mistaken. This was obviously a whole Euro cylinder that I cut in half. So some points to make. Well, they both got the Yale style keyway. The new mila cylinder doesn't seem to have mila stamped on the front of the lock, and if we compare them up this way, we'll see that the new mila cylinder was actually a 6-pinner, while the old one was a 5-pinner. The old one didn't seem to have any steel protection pins. There might have been some in the core, I don't actually remember. Now, the interesting thing here is that although this is a 6-pinner, this is 100 times harder to pick, and the reason is it's got security pins in it, and mila security pins are actually very difficult to pick, certainly in the past. I would be interested to know if this newer cylinder is their current cylinder. Is this the only one that they are selling now, or is this similar to what Yale have done and released? Yale have released a Yale Essentials range, which I personally think is a pile of garbage. And Yale have not put their name on the keys or the locks that they produce in this range, which really says something about their confidence in those locks. I'm just interested to know if this is the same thing that mila have done. Have they just gone ahead and built a cheaper lock and left their name off it because they don't want to be involved with it, or you know, what's that all about? The key, well, I haven't seen this pattern before. Also, mila, I always thought wrote their name in the uppercase. The shape of the key is different, and I've actually got another key here. This is a Eurospec key, and as you can see, it's very similar in design. Do you think that this is a coincidence? If we compare them up close, you will notice that the Eurospec key, the hole here is bigger, and the design is slightly different, but there's a lot of similarities here. The Eurospec is also a 6-pinner. This is a Eurospec MP5, by the way, which we might take a look at in the future. Alright, so just a few interesting points to make there. Actually, I'm very disappointed at this mila cylinder, but I guess now comes the interesting bit. We're going to get set up for gutting this lock, and we're going to see at long last what's inside this lock. Okay, I believe we are now ready to take the cylinder apart. I do apologise about the state of my pinning tray. It is a little bit dirty, but you'll be pleased to know that it is dishwasher proof. It used to be a chopping board, and yes, the lovely Pete Restall, who is sadly no longer really participating in the community, he gifted this to me. So we're gonna hack off this brass circlip. I believe the mila, old mila circlips were springy. Certainly the one I put on here was. I don't know if that's the original or not. Whoa, right. I think that's us. At long last, we have managed to get the clip off. Okay, put my lovely Foxy 3 pinning shoe in there, and I think we can hook this out of here. Okay, right away I do see that we have got some drill protection in the core. That's very good. Not too much to see down there. Well, not that you can see anything anyway. Just a standard core. We've got a small spacer block here. Drop that off. Okay, so this is what we've got. Nothing particularly interesting on the core. Grab the key. Okay, not bad. Let us drop out these pins and we'll see what we've got. I'll do this backwards, just for no particular reason. Okay, so far we're only seeing standards. And is the last one going to be a standard as well? Yep. Okay, and the drill protection pins are also coming out. Righto. Okay, all standard in the core. You can see right through these holes now, where the drill protection used to be. Although I must say, it would probably be possible to drill through the middle of where the drill protection pins go. It's not something I've ever tried, to be honest, and probably will never try. Certainly not if picking is this easy. Right. Let's see what we got here. Pin 1. Oh. Right. I think that's pin 2 that sprung out there. Pin 2 is a standard. Pin 1 is also a standard. Pin 3 is a standard. Pin 4 is a standard. Pin 5 is a standard, and pin 6 is also a standard pin. We've got the double coil springs. Whoops. I don't know if that's a technical term for these, but I call them double coil. They've got a kind of intermediate sort of bit that's more tightly wound than the rest of it. Okay, so all standard pins, not very good at all. Very disappointing that the sort of newer style mila cylinder is worse than the old style. Goes to show, guys, that these ratings on the key are not really anything to go by, because this old one, 100,000 times more difficult to pick, and it's got no ratings on it. Well, I will be interested if anybody's got any more information on this. Is this the new style mila cylinder, or is this just a more budget option sold by Mila? Anyway, either way, thank you very much, Rob, for sending the lock to me, and thanks everybody for watching. Hope to see you all again soon.